For my first DIY, I'm going to be tackling this portion of our pantry utilizing the stackable bins that I got at Dollar Tree. I bought this in bulk with free shipping or delivery at my store, and I got them with 3 different colors. I'm going to be utilizing this green stackable bins first. First, I'm going to be reconfiguring this in a way that it can handle not only just tall items but also the bulkier items that I have at our pantry. So I'm going to be utilizing the tip of my glue gun. I'm not going to be using glue here, guys. I'm just going to be using zip ties. But first, I have to create the holes. So I am going to be showing you 2 styles or 2 techniques to puncture the holes. First, I'm going to be using the tip of my hot glue gun to create the holes. So just press it, use some force or pressure, and then voila, you will have a hole already. So I'm going to be creating or puncturing 4 holes on this bin organizer. So I am puncturing a couple of holes on the rear portion or the back portion of this stackable bins, and then another couple of holes closer to the front or the opening of the stackable bins. And I'm showing you here how I use my glue gun, the tip of my hot glue gun, to create the holes. But I will be showing you on my next DIY how I'm going to be utilizing another tool to make it simpler. But if you don't have that type of tool, you can certainly use the tip of your hot glue gun, especially if you're a crafter, you have hot glue gun in your house, you can utilize it to puncture holes on this plastic stackable bins. They're so easy to puncture holes using the tip of the hot glue gun. So I'm going to be doing this on 2 stackable bins, and let me just show you the underside here. There's already kind of like a mark there where there's a hole towards the front, so I'm going to try my best to just kind of eyeball it and align my hole to that one. I cannot puncture the hole from underneath because there is something that's blocking. It's going to be hard to puncture the hole from the bottom, so I'm just puncturing it from the top. And then those are the 4 holes on my first stackable bin. And I am doing the same on another stackable bin that I'm going to be putting on top. I'm going to connect the 2. One will be positioned right side up and the other one upside down. I do have this matching green zip ties, but I'm not going to use them because in my channel I do want to also cater to our vision impaired friends. So I am going to utilize my white zip ties for contrast. But feel free to choose any color zip ties, even the matching ones with your organizers or the color of your material. But like I said, because I want to help out also those viewers that have visual impairment so that they can see it a little bit better when I do this. So I'm just going to connect the holes together with the zip ties, and I'm just going to repeat the process on all the holes in order to build or construct this bin. Once I connect it, it will be a larger or bigger bin that will hold taller items and fatter items or bulkier items as well. I'm just making sure that each connection is tight by pulling the excess as tight as possible, and then I'm going to be using my scissors to cut the excess zip ties. Some folks are asking me where I get my scissors. This is also from Dollar Tree. So here's the finished piece. And since I'll be needing a second one, I've also completed another pair in the same manner. Now I'm going to start assembling my pantry organizer. So like I said earlier, I'm just going to tackle this portion, this shelf, because for some reason things are bulkier on this shelf than the other shelves. So I kind of want to make them more organized and looking neat, and also making sure that they're easily accessible. So the first pair I'm going to put at the very corner, and then on that one I will be putting one of the stackable bins on top. Later on, I'm going to show you how I'm going to be connecting this on another DIY. But for this one, I'm just going to leave this like this, sitting loose. It's anyway snug. It's hitting the bottom part of the upper shelf, so I'm not too worried about it toppling over. Then I am going to be assembling the next set with just the stackable bins. I'm just expanding that handle or unfolding the handle so that one of the bin will sit on top of the other, like so. So that's how you actually make them stack up, is that just making sure that that handle where you see the fold, you can unlock that and then open it so that the bottom of the stackable bins will sit on there. And then I'm just going to set up the third system, copying the one that I did on the corner on the far right. Now I have assembled it in a way that I think I will be utilizing them so that they will be able to organize my pantry and my canned goods. And voila, this is the way that I thought would be more organized. I can see exactly where things are, and then I can easily reach for them. And I don't have to worry about the bigger and taller and even the items that are a little bit bulkier, because now they fit at the bottom where I have configured the two bins together. And here's another one. Aside from the canned goods, I can also corral all these bags of chips or candies or croutons or salad toppings or my cereal toppings, rather than them laying down or kind of separated or unorganized. I mean, I like corralling things so that they look much prettier. Here's another way. I have all these bottled spices or sauces, as well as my dressings, my salad dressings. So they come in taller bottles, so at least now they can fit together. I don't have to worry about them toppling over, because now they are in the bin that I just created and they're more secured and corralled. So this is the before again. And I know that some items I didn't put in here because I'm kind of like creating a system wherein all the canned goods or the things that are kind of relate to each other, those are the ones that I'm putting together. So I just wanted to show you the before and then the after of this pantry shelf. The next one that I'm going to tackle is underneath our kitchen sink, and this is a mess right now. It used to be organized. I organized this a couple of years back using my other DIY, and I'm going to be linking it in the upper right hand corner how I did it. But I have been trying to see what I can do here. Even our cabinets I have repainted from brown to white, so I kind of want the fresh or new look. So using the stackable bins, I am going to see if there's another system that would work better than the last one based on our current needs. So I'm going to be utilizing this heat tool, and this is a tool that I got at Michael's, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. They do sell this at Michael's. They sell this at any craft store, even Joann's probably sell it. You can also buy something like this from Harbor Freight or even Lowe's or Home Depot. Just ask them if they have those type of heating tools. But again, if you don't have any use for it, I think you are okay to use your glue gun, especially since a lot of my subscribers are crafters. So if you don't have this type of tool, but this tool is a lot easier to use, not a whole lot of pressure. As you could see, it's so easy to create holes. The reason why I'm using it here, because I'll be creating more holes than what I've done on the first project. This will save me a lot of time and also effort or energy, because look at this, I don't even have to put too much pressure and the hole is created. Just a precaution, please make sure that you are working in a well ventilated area if you want to open your window, because there's some smell when you're burning also your plastic, so you don't want to get nauseated. So like I said, I'll be creating more holes aside from the 4 holes similar to what I created on my pantry organizer. For the under the sink, I'm also going to be connecting 2 bigger bins together, or I just wanted them to be more stable than what I've done with the pantry. So I am going to be connecting them in this manner, so I need to create more holes. So here in each corner, I'm going to be creating 2 holes kind of like adjacent to each other. Each of the 2 holes will be matching the 2 holes of the bottom of the other bin that I'm going to be connecting to it, so that they will be able to connect together. So again, like I said, it's really much easier if you have this type of tool, and I'm going to try to find the link to it. I'm not sponsored in any way. I'm just trying to see if you will be able to do more projects, more than this one, that it can be helpful for you. So I'm going to try to find it if I can find it, and then I'm going to put it in the description box below. So those are my 8 holes. So again, there are 2 in each corner, positioned diagonally, lining up together. And again, I'm not putting any marker here. Feel free to do so if you want to make sure that they will align. But for me, I am just eyeballing my holes, just trying to make them as even or positioned in the same manner as close as possible, the same with the other bin, so that they will line up together. So I am going to be puncturing these holes on 3 stackable bins. So I finished one already. I'm working on my second one, and then I'm also going to work on my 3rd stackable bin. Now I'm gonna start aligning them. Again, because I eyeballed them, they may not be perfectly matching, but they will work out in the end, because I'm just gonna be using zip ties, and you know zip ties, they can be adjusted in any way so that it will also align somehow, and that's what I've noticed in this project, and I will show you exactly what I mean. Bins upside down, and then this one right side up, I'm going to thread through the tip of my zip tie from the one that is on top, and then I am going to flip it over so that I can thread through to the other bin, like so, and then thread through again so that I will be back on the opposite side, or the other bin where I started from. Now I'm just gonna connect this loosely. I'm not going to make it too tight, so that I will have some leverage, or I can adjust it if I need to later on. it'll be easier for me to finish off the other corners with this not being tight. So all of my connections, I will tighten them later. So it just gives me room for adjusting things by doing it this way. So I'm just going to repeat the same step on all of the other remaining holes. So again, starting from one of the holes on the top and then threading through the bottom hole that aligns to it, and then threading through again and then reinserting. So it's just like you are sewing if you're hand sewing, and imagine this as your thread and your fingers the needle. So you're just inserting through the holes and then just connecting your zip ties that way. After connecting the last one, now I am going to tighten up all of the connections on all four corners. After securing and tightening each one, I am cutting the excess zip tie. Next, I am going to connect my third piece, which I am going to put on top, upside down, like so. And then I'm just going to connect the corners again with the zip tie. I've already punctured the holes, the 4 holes here. I'm tightening each connection again, and once that's done, I'm going to be trimming off or cutting the excess zip ties on each corner. Next, I am going to flip this over so that only the smooth part will show up on the top, not the ones with the excess or the bulky zip tie connection that has the sharp edges. If you notice, the one on the top will be where the smooth connections are. Now I'm just gonna connect another piece, a 4th piece on the top, so that this will be a double bin of sort. So here I'm just going to show you a different method in a way of tying the zip ties, because I don't want that the sharp ends will be on the top. So what I'm going to do is, after I connect each one, I am going to flip it down like this, turn it down like this, so that the sharp edge or the bulky ends will be at the bottom. This way, this will give it a better or cleaner finish. And then I am going to be tightening each connection. Let me just show you how it is. See here? This is the smoother part, so that'll be the top, and look at the bottom of this one. That's where the sharp ends are. So it's much better that way. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut the excess zip ties again. So now you will see the sharp edges are hidden or underneath. So this will be my top portion here, and you can barely see the bulky ends of the zip ties. Voila! You want to do it sideways like this? I think it should work. So here I'm going to show you another variation. I'm going to put one upside down and the other one right side up, and then I'm going to connect the two together, kind of like how I started with the double one. So lining up the holes again, and then I'm going to be connecting them together with the zip ties. I'm cutting again the excess pieces of zip ties after I tighten each one. And then I'm going to leave it in this position for a bit because I'm going to connect another stackable bin on the top to align there. So like earlier, that's what I'm gonna do. Just connect all four corners together. Once done, again, cutting the excess zip ties. And I'll show you that after I cut the zip ties, you will probably wondering why I'm leaving the sharp edge at the top. Well, actually, because I am going to go ahead and flip it over later on after I'm done with my cut, so that the sharp edges will be facing downwards. But I want to show you first, see, this is the sharp edges, so that's not going to be my top, this is going to be my top. So this is another iteration. I'm not going to be adding a top on this one. This is just going to be for taller containers later on. So for the third setup, for my under the sink, I will be using the stackable bins in a default manner, just opening up those handles like so, flipping them open so that the other stackable bins can sit on top of each other. I will be stacking up 4 pieces together. I wouldn't need any zip ties or hot glue gun to keep them in place, so I'm just going to be utilizing them as such. So this is what the setup would be. Those 2 big bulky ones that I connected together, and then I put in the middle the stackable bins that I just put on top of each other, the third setup. And then the second one that I did is with the open top for the taller containers. Now it's time to fill them up. So here it is. It's looking a lot better and neater. I have the top portion of the container on the left side here. That's why I left it open. I didn't put another top so that the taller containers, the bulkier ones, would fit. And then underneath, I could still fit something a little taller. And then be able to reach them without any problems, or it's not going to be hampering. My hands will fit underneath. And then I even put my detergents here. No issues with the taller spray bottles as well. This fits perfectly. And then underneath I have another spray bottle here. It's a little smaller than the one on top, but it's still tall, that it will not just fit in just one stackable bin if I'm going to be using them as is. Now this middle part here where I just stack up the stackable bins as the default setup, I just put this one on top, my dishwasher pods, and then some of my sponges and also my wipes. Anything that is easier to fit there and then still have space for my hands. And then this is the garbage. This is where I'm going to put my garbage bags. I will still have space for new ones or refills. And then this one would be for my hand soap, and they come in taller bottles as well. So I'm glad that now I am able to fit them, and there's still room for more. As you can see at the back there's still room for more. And this is Mrs. Meyer's containers or hand soaps. They're not short, they're taller. So I'm glad that I'm able to create this bin so that they will just fit right into them. And then on top of it, I have this wipes. So I'm just putting the wipes there. These are the compostable kitchen wipes. I really like the finished product of this one, although I like the other organization systems that I used in the past. This one will just suit our needs right now. If you all been following me on my channel, I did mention that we're gonna repaint the cabinet, and we did. We had some contractors did it for us, and then there are new hardware as well. So this new organization system underneath our kitchen sink is actually sort of an upgrade, like a fresh look. I like the other organization as well before, but now it looks much better in my opinion. It's more well put together. And here's another way to save space. I did add another container, and what I did with a spray bottle, I just hung it on the side. I kind of adjusted the containers to move to the right so that I have enough space for that spray bottle. So that is kind of like just showing you how to maximize your space. So I still have space for that big bulky detergent that I added on the left there. So this is the finished project and I really like it a lot. Speaking of under the sink, this one is the setup that I am going to try to do for our under the bathroom sink. So this is utilizing the same types of bins, and this project was a couple of years ago. I ended up with 2 stacked on top of each other, and then there's one big one at the bottom. See, the top one will have the taller bottles, much taller than what can fit in the combo doubled up one. And this organizer is really perfect for under the sink. As you can see, there's enough room for this tube here, the plumbing, and there's enough headroom also for taller bottles. Like I said, I don't need to put a top on this one. I have the lotion there. We can put the taller shampoo bottles. Here are the flatter or shallower containers in the middle, and I could still reach them without bending too low. And then the ones at the bottom, I don't have to bend too low. I can just touch the tip of those bottles and spray bottles. And here's another one here. I set it up like a pet grooming or changing station. So for example, if you have a pet, this is what it looks like to set it up. I have set it up for our dog. I have a small dog and he stays indoors, so we have like a pet wipes or baby wipes. That's his toy there, plushie toy. That's his body spray as well on the top, so it's easier for me to reach for things. And then in the middle, those are his pee pads, and then at the bottom would be other things that we will use for his hygiene as well. Now if you have a baby, because in our home we don't have a baby anymore, you can use this for your nursery as well, where you can put the baby diapers and then baby wipes and all the other necessities for your baby. For the next setup, like I said, when I bought in bulk, there were 3 colors. So there's green, pink, and blue. I used the green and blue in the beginning of this project, but this project here is good for a playroom or a baby's nursery, or even a homeschool setup, or even a craft room organization. If you have multiple kids, let's say 3 kids that are also doing their projects, you can actually put a name on each stack so that each color will also denote who owns them, so that they know which ones are there. It can be a toy chest or a toy shelf or organizer. You can also use this to organize baby shoes or kid shoes. You can put this in their closet to put their shirts, their undies, their socks. The possibilities are endless for this organization system. Like I said, do not rule them out when you see them at the Dollar Tree store. Now the last example is an organization inside a cupboard of the kitchen, and I'm going to show you what I did before. We have this baking supplies where I used the stackable bins to put all the sprinkles and the other organization. I love the colors here. I matched all the green items that I could get at Dollar Tree. So even these bins, I even put labels on them, and then those stackable bins were in the middle shelf and they just fit perfectly there. They were arranged or stacked up in their default form, and it made it easier for me to organize all my baking supplies. And I just dedicated one of the cupboards for our baking needs because we also run a home-based bakery. but these days it hasn't been that much, so it's more like a hobby now. So I hope you enjoyed this video, everyone, and I have given you ideas on how to use those stackable bins. I mean, there's so many things that you can use them for, as you could see here. So hopefully I was able to inspire you. I hope to talk to you again on my next video. Have a great day, everyone. God bless. Bye-bye.